Hi everyone, it's Natasha
and Sonja,
and we're back here in the North Grove kitchen for our very last virtual Food and Families. Today we're going to be making a favorite in my house and here at the Family Center, and that is hash brown casserole.
So for today's recipe, you're going to need some cornflakes, a bag of hash browns, some butter, and I've got to put in 2 bowls because we'll explain a little later in the recipe. You do use half a cup and then 1/4 of a cup. Today we've got cream of mushroom soup. However, you can use cream of chicken or cream of celery. I've heard different things about using different ones. Some people prefer cream of celery, some cream of chicken. Then we're doing pepper and salt. We're going to need onion, some cheese, and last but not least, you're going to need sour cream, and you only need a small tub of sour cream for this recipe.
Okay, so we're going to start off today with putting our hash browns in a large bowl. So we're using the diced hash browns for this recipe. Then we're going to combine half a cup of our melted butter. The soup that we're choosing to use today, which is the cream of mushroom. Do you have a preference, Sonja, when you make it?
Well, I've always done cream of chicken. But the other day I heard somebody say cream of celery was really good.
Yes, I have heard that too. Okay, we're gonna do a half a cup of sour cream. Our half a cup of diced onion. Sometimes if I don't have onion at home, I'll use like dried onion or dehydrated onion.
Yes, some people don't like onion either. So it's nice to have that taste without the texture.
Yeah, exactly. And I find that, you know, for the little ones, maybe dicing your onions super small. It's a way for them to not notice it in there. It does give it a good taste. So we're gonna stir that all around.
So while Tash is doing that, I'm getting the cheese ready. It's 2 cups of cheese. This is something you can definitely do with your kids at home. They love to grate cheese and they like to eat it. So it's always good to kind of set a little bit aside for afterwards. And I'm over 2 cups, but that's okay because
you never have too much cheese. All right, good. Give that a good mix.
There you go. The salt and pepper.
Perfect.
Pepper. Oh, salt.
Okay, and we are going to add a 1/4 teaspoon pepper. And this, it calls for a 1 full teaspoon, sorry, of salt. I always put sometimes just a little bit less. All right, we're gonna mix it up. So this recipe is, you know, it all kind of stays together pretty well. So it's a great recipe for kids to mix because you don't have to worry about things flying out of the bowl. So we know that the children during Food and Families love to stir.
And it's a meal that you can make ahead of time. You can put it in the fridge so you can have it the next day. So you don't even have to cook it right away. No, you can wait.
Absolutely.
So while you're doing this, Tash, I'm just gonna roll up the cornflake crumbs.
I'm gonna pour this in here. No need to grease your pan.
Roll up the cornflakes. And there's really no science to it. They can, if you don't have a roller, my mom used to use a cup. You can use, if you got hammers, they could even hammer them if they have those little plastic hammers.
And my kids just used to squeeze the baggie.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So, you know, as long as you're squeezing up your cornflake crumbs, but it is a fun thing for kids to do. And they do add a great texture because I normally don't make it with it, but I like this way better.
And I usually add extra. All right, so we have it in our casserole dish here now. And we're gonna take, oh sorry, Sonja, take our melted butter and combine it with our crushed corn flakes.
Have you ever tried putting anything different in it, like vegetables?
I have put like diced ham, leftover ham, but that's it. I think you could also like put pretty much anything in it.
Yeah, I was thinking like green peppers, peppers would be good. Maybe some green onion if you have somebody who just like really loves to get the vegetables in there.
Yeah, I think green onion is a good addition to anything. Okay, so you can kind of see that our crushed cornflakes have a little bit of a wet consistency. So we're gonna go ahead and spoon them on top.
I love that this recipe is so simple. Doesn't take a whole lot of ingredients and it can be done so fast.
Yeah, and I love that you can't mess it up. There's really no wrong way to make this, and it is really just throwing everything together. Sometimes when you're baking or cooking with kids, you worry that, you know, if your measurements are really off, that something's not going to taste well. But the worst you can do is add a little bit too much cheese to this or something, and that's never a bad idea. So there we go. So our casserole is all ready to be popped into our oven now. So we have preheated our oven and it's gonna go in there for about 40 minutes or until you start to see it bubble. Sometimes people will also add a little bit of extra cheese to the top of this. Okay, so we're just gonna pop this in the oven. This smells amazing. Okay. So you can tell it's done because our cornflakes have a nice crunch to them. And the cheese is all melted. So there we go. That is our hash brown casserole. Would you have it for breakfast or supper?
We often eat it as supper, but I would have it breakfast, lunch.
Me too. I was going to say, yeah. If any survives after supper, it's free. Yeah, you can have it for whenever you want to. But I think you could have it any time of the day.
And it's great leftover.
Yeah.
Right? You know, some food really aren't that good leftover. This is delicious.
Yeah. And freeze as well too, right?
Yeah.
So if you wanted to let it cool and then cut it into some good portion size put it in a freezer bag and try to get some of the air out. It's great to take out of the freezer and pop it on a plate and reheat it for a busy day. So thank you so much for joining us. We hope you try this recipe. If you do, pop us a message below. Let us know what you thought.